Welcome everybody here, live.
Love
Welcome everybody here,
Take two.
live. This is your host Tech with our correspondent.
The sensational one, Shinblade. How you doing?
Yes, and bringing in right now live the co-host.
Yeah.
Bringing in
I
live
didn't want
now
to
the
say
co-host.
nothing because I want everybody else to know that I was running late. So
cool.
Now that I'm here, I can say, yeah.
Yes, we're here live. This is our co-host.
Okay.
NSC Game Boy. Yes, it is.
What it is, what it do. You already.
Yes.
Stop it.
Welcome everybody here under the Mat Radio. Episode is called Suplexes and Schmoes. We bringing in our guest here is on the key. We'll bring him in live in about a minute, no more. This episode is called Suplexes and Schmoes because coming up momentarily will be our first guest. He is the co-executive producer of the great show Lucha Underground. His name is DeJoseph, also better known as Big Dick Johnson. He spent his time at WWE. Also coming up at the top of the album will be one of the hosts of a great podcast and web show, reviews a lot of movies. Kristian Harloff will be joining us from Schmoes Knows. Real quick, everybody know, Under the Mat Radio, you can follow us on Facebook, Under the Mat Radio. You can also follow our light page with the same name. Follow us on Twitter, @tech_UTMR. You can follow the co-host NSC Game Boy at
NSC Game Boy spelled correctly. Yeah, please.
Yes, and you can follow Shinblade, our correspondent, at
Sensational one, SHINSATIONALONE.
Yes. So please, friends, do not forget to check us out on Facebook under the Mat Radio. Please subscribe to our YouTube page where we have a lot of road trip videos and interviews that we've done over the past couple of years with the greats Ron Simmons, Ricky the Dragon, Steamboat, and other legends and local wrestlers. And if you ever need to email us with any questions or concerns or ideas, email us at underthematsradio@gmail.com. We'll let you know real quick before we bring in Chris DeJoseph that we here under the Mat Radio, this is our own network. We're no longer under anybody else. Big ups, thank you for Wrestling Powerhouse and all those that have supported us. This is our own legit network. So thank you very much. We do apologize. We normally have our great intro, but we're having issues with the music at the moment. But next week, you will hear the great intro that, of course, is done by our co-host, NSC Game Boy. So with all that being said, we'll bring in the man himself, live. This is now our second representative of Lucha Underground. First we had Eric Van Wegman. Now we're bringing in another representative of Lucha Underground, Mr. Chris DeJoseph. Welcome, brother.
Hey, what's up, guys? I love the show. Thank you for having me on Under the Mat Radio. I listen to you guys sometimes on my car rides home. I'm sitting in traffic in Los Angeles, and I heard your interview with Cortez the Killer a few, I don't know if that was last week or the week before, but I appreciate you guys having me on to talk about Lucha Underground.
No problem.
Oh, thank
man.
you.
No problem.
Thanks for listening in your car.
Thank you. Thank you much. Real quick, is it okay we call you Chris?
Absolutely.
What do you want us to call us? Chris
people
is fine,
call me
okay.
Chris. People call me DJ. Whatever. So that's cool. Chris is cool. DJ's cool. Whatever.
Cool. I'm gonna call you DJ because I don't like calling people by their government names. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we'll call you DJ.
I'm the same way. To tell you the truth, Chris, I'm not gonna call you Big Mr. Big Dick or anything like that. That's kind of like a pause moment.
God.
Right
Yeah. I say Vince owns that one and he can keep it.
Yeah.
Wow.
With that being said, DJ, while we're on the topic, let's get the negative out the way. I've got word from certain sources, and of course, corresponded that you're not a big fan of WWE at the moment, or it sounds like you're not a big fan of the Big Dick Johnson character that you portrayed. So just to get it out the way, if you don't mind, let us know, how did that character start off? And I know you worked closely with the man himself, Vince. Let us know your experiences with him.
Well, I mean, I was more than willing to play the character. It was an exciting thing to do. I didn't expect it to become what it was. It really just kind of started as a joke in a meeting. We were bringing back DX, and we were trying to think of, pranks that could be played on Mr. McMahon. And I think at one point it was like a mariachi band comes out of nowhere, then somebody shows up with like a penis pump, and then an alien comes out. And then, I think Vince killed the idea of the mariachi band, and someone says, oh, yeah, what if there's a chubby stripper? And at that point, of course, all the fingers pointed to me. I was like, oh, okay. And originally it was just supposed to be something stupid, but Triple H was the one who kind of convinced me and probably ribbed me to go all the way and get a bottle of baby oil and squirt it all over Vince's suit. And he says, oh, you never know what will happen because of it. And, the next thing you know, I think I fought the Sandman a week later. And I just kept popping out of boxes and cakes and everything else. It was fun. It made me some money, which was okay. Obviously, it also, I had to show my family and things like that. I'm sure one day I'll have grandkids who will come up and ask me about how about their grandfather being Big Dick Johnson, which I will just deny at that point. That's how that went down. It was fun while it lasted. I was a young kid. I was excited, and I've moved on from that. But occasionally, you walk into like a FedEx or something, and somebody says something to you, and that's when you know it's a real wrestling fan. If somebody knows that character you had been watching and not tuned out.
Oh, man. Well, that is something. Real quick, how was it working with, and I'm going to turn it over to you, NSC Game Boy, and then to Shen.
Yeah.
Real quick, how was it working with Triple H? How was it working with Shawn Michaels? I know, of course, you hear a lot of the marks, and a lot of people bury Triple H, and, people, got bad things to say about everybody, even bury Shawn Michaels. What are your experiences with them?
My experiences were nothing but great experiences with those guys. Both Triple H and Shawn Michaels, working with them was awesome. It was really fun. It was a dream come true for me. And, I think one time I was in a scene, it was like Shawn Michaels and John Cena were both promoting, John was promoting the Marine, and Shawn Michaels was promoting the DX DVD. And I think I jumped onto the set, and they were talking about what their DVDs had that the others didn't. And I might have been building to the WrestleMania 23 match. And, I ended up getting super kicked by Shawn Michaels. I remember getting super kicked, and I got knocked out. Like half my face was just, I felt like it was numb and got knocked out. And Shawn was like, oh, man, are you okay? Are you okay? So I think so, man. I think I'm all right. He's like, I'm sorry that I hit you so hard, but I've never actually super kicked anybody shorter than me before. So,
oh, man.
so that was cool, but they were great. They were always great to me, and I really appreciated the things that they taught me, and not just those things and the fun stuff I got to do in the ring, but behind the scenes, getting to work with those guys and learn from them was absolutely awesome.
Good. Okay. At least we got good news about Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
I think Shawn's the greatest wrestler of all time, so I don't know. I have a hard time saying anything bad about him.
Man. Well, turn it over to NSC Game Boy.
Well, my question to you is that with you being there at the time that you was, can you give us an example of maybe a character that you wish you could have done besides the whole stripper thing? Was there a character that maybe you wanted to bring to Vince or something, or bring to the limelight, and that you didn't have a chance to do in WWE?
Oh, like me personally play, or me personally write for?
You personally.
I never had any intentions to write myself onto the show or be in the show, to be honest with you. That was never my goal, was to just be a performer. I was there to be a writer and producer, and that was it. So it was never about me wanting to be a character on the show. It just happened, and then it just continued, and it kind of was like a runaway train after a while.
Well, one more question then. By you being a writer and stuff, what was the craziest thing that you think that you had to actually write and give to the writing staff and say, like, wow, what do you think the craziest thing or outlandish?
I think the craziest thing that I came up with while I was there that actually made TV would have been Edge and Lita's live sex celebration. Was probably the most wild out there thing, and it really came as I think I was like the fourth option.
Wow, you wrote that?
And Vince was asking, what would you do if you won the champion? You just won the championship and stolen the championship from John Cena. If you were Edge, what would you do? I think somebody said I'd do this. I can't remember the things. And the last thing I said, well, I'd probably have sex with Lita in the middle of the ring. And that kind of grew out of that. I know another thing that I think was cool was doing, writing the Shawn Michaels Undertaker promos leading into WrestleMania 25 with Dave Kapoor, who's still there. Writing some of those things were cool.
Yeah, they were great.
Yeah, they was.
Like they did like those light and dark promos. That was really pretty awesome and out there. The Cody Rhodes vignettes where he would look into the mirror and say he's dashing, that was fun. I did so much. Sometimes it's hard for me to remember because there's so many ideas that make it, and then there's about for every one idea that makes it, there's about 99 that don't. So for me, they kind of all cross paths. But I would say that those are some of my favorite things.
Okay. Real quick, before we turn over to Shimbley, we have a caller that wants to speak to you, DJ. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, we're going to bring him in. Area code T40. Welcome to Under the Mat Radio with Kristian DeJoseph.
Yeah, this is Chicky calling.
Hey, buddy.
What's up?
My question for Big Dick is, do you give any examples that you saw the WWE Divas flirting with the writers of WWE?
I couldn't catch that. Give me an example of when the WWE's worked with the writers?
No, the Divas flirting with the writers. Can you give any examples of that?
Oh gosh. I mean that I'm sure there was a lot of flirting with the girls. I think sometimes after the show at the bar you get some things like that. I will tell you this. This is a first-time reveal here. I did strip for Trish Stratus at her bachelorette party.
Wow.
So that was one something. I made a bunch of money. I think every diva was there, and they had it was they got me nice and drunk beforehand, and it was a blast.
Man.
Wow.
Cheeky, did you have any other questions?
Okay.
Yes, is Hornswoggle really the anonymous general manager of WWE?
Yeah. Who was the anonymous general manager of the WWE?
Is that like what the storyline's supposed to be, or did they have someone else in mind besides Hornswoggle?
Yes. I can't remember who exactly it was. I think it was supposed to be Triple H, the anonymous general manager.
Okay, thanks, Big Dick.
I don't really remember, but it wasn't supposed to be Hornswoggle. For some reason, Hornswoggle, whenever they can't figure out a storyline, he just always seems, whenever like a storyline got thrown out, like who's Vince's son or anything like that, Hornswoggle just always became the answer for some reason. I never could figure that out.
This DLC content. Just downloaded it, man. Cheeky, thanks so much for your call, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Real quick, if you could, and I'm gonna get to you, Sean. I know we got plenty of time. DJ, that whole anonymous Raw GM. If you had your choice, if you had to pick two guys to be that, who would it be?
Could
be anybody.
maybe Sean, maybe, and then the other one probably would have been. I mean, if I could think like real outside the box or something crazy, which probably wouldn't have happened, I would have picked like somebody like Dana White or somebody like that. That if they would ever, that probably would have never happened, but that would have been my outside the box, pick.
Wow. Okay. All right, Shimblade.
Actually, to tell you the truth, I'm very, very jealous of Mr. DeJoseph, because he had that segment with Layla like years ago where he had to go out and do the stripper gimmick and she was all over him. That's one of my women crushes right there. Personally, that would have been a TV MA show right there. It was all a lot more than just wood. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So it would be a lot more than the live sex celebration. I have to say, I am so amazed by your writing that, in my personal opinion, I think when you left WWE, you took the writing aspect with it. You wrote all these things, and then now after 2010, the product by 40 to 60%, and now 80% has been crap. My question to you is, and I don't want to sound controversial, but what made you leave WWE? Like, what was the final straw that kicked you out the door, or what made you turn yourself off from WWE, period?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, like, probably the last year and a half, I was like, I was tired, you're living on the road like that, working 24/7, never seeing your family, things like that. And for me at that time, it just, I wasn't happy. You end up on the road, you end up in the airport, you end up in the bar, those things. It's just like, it just never ended. It just kept going and going and going. And for me, I had a few moments with Vince and I that, some tense moments between the two of us. And, I wasn't I mean, my original idea was at WrestleMania 26, I wanted to just walk out. I wanted to finish WrestleMania and just walk off into the sunset. I'm a diehard Arizona Cardinals fan. I'm not probably the only one. There aren't too many of us out there, but I have season tickets. I just wanted to just buy a condo and just walk out and just stay there. It ended up not happening. I stayed on for, all the way until November, and it had become time, I think. But my last day, I didn't know that we were going to part ways. My last day, I worked with Vince the whole day. Had a real good day. It was in Richmond, Virginia, and then the next morning, I got a call to come into the office, and Michael Hayes and Brian Gortz sat me down and said, I think we're deciding to go a different direction with the creative. At this point, we would like to kind of agree to part ways, and we'd like to let you go. And I remember, I think they might have been worried that I might have snapped or whipped somebody's ass in there, but I just smiled and gave them both a big hug and said, "Thank you so much."
Gave them a big hug.
I wanted to ask you, man.
It was like
I wanted to
giant
ask you,
weight was lifted off my shoulders, and I always say my favorite days at the WWE were my first day and my last day.
Wow, no in between.
I wanted to ask you also. You said that Michael Hayes. You said Michael Hayes wanted you in the office?
Yeah.
Okay. Was he wearing the white suit or trying to sing you a song to get you in the office or anything like that?
No, he didn't have a white suit on, but he might have been wearing a big purple suit or something ridiculous. Michael always turns into something outrageous, man. But he called me in when I knew if Michael called me at 7 a.m. after we got back from a trip, early that morning, that was probably it. I had a good feeling. So, that went down, and I think it was hard because I worked with Michael extremely close. As far as at that time on SmackDown specifically, and we had put in a lot of time together and spent a lot of time together. So that was difficult. It was difficult to say goodbye to a lot of guys that you work with there, but at the same time, it was just a huge relief for me.
Did you shed a tear? What was the? Let us know.
No.
What was the first thing you did right when you got home, when you walked in your house after you was released from WWE? What was the first thing you did?
I think I opened a beer, and I think I called my mom and told I told my mom that I was done and that I might actually get to see my family and stuff like that. And I think I might have run over to my sister's house and saw my nephews. And I mean, you really, when you're living that life and on the road and then even working for events where it's like a wrestling WWE thing 24/7, you often don't have time to see your family. You miss birthdays, you miss celebrations, things like that. And so that was a good feeling, knowing that I would get to come back into people's lives a little bit. So yeah, that was that. And I think right after that, I planned a vacation. I went on a 2-week cruise just to clear my head, and it was a great thing.
Okay. And that I say this, I'm gonna turn over to NFC Game Boy. Of course, most people's dream, anybody that's in the business that wants to be a wrestler or a referee, most people's dream is to work for the WWE. And don't worry, we'll get to Lucha in a minute.
Totally.
Let us know in your mindset, what's the one thing that you learned about the WWE that you thought you would never know before coming in? What are some of the misconceptions about the WWE that people may have, and what are some of the things that you enjoyed?
I think the misconceptions that some people have is that they can just go in there and change the business and change creative, or even some people, they can just come in as a talent or a referee and just immediately rise to the top. There's politics at play. There is, and as far as the creative thing, I mean, it's just, you have to get everything through Vince. And as far as you come up with the creative, sometimes it just gets stalled. There's other times where, things change and you never really have a chance to make that change. I mean, I think that's a lot of people's reasons. At least for me, creatively, it was to get in there and to, try to make awesome TV. And that's a tough one. I think there's also a misconception for people who just want to get into the TV side of things or into the creative side, that they can just, have a fantasy booking, website and then they'll hire you. It doesn't work like that. It's a professional television show, so it's good. You would need to have some kind of experience or college or training as far as, working in a TV show.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have one last
advice.
question. I have one last question before we turn over to Lucha, and this is probably one of the most serious questions. I want to know, at any time while you were at the WWE, have any idea ever came up of writing a black champion or a colored champion at the time, when a lot of the WWE champions within the last few years always been, guys like John Cena, Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar, and CM Punk, so on and so forth, Shawn Michaels, the list goes on and on. At any given time while you were there, did they ever have an idea of actually bringing in a black champion? I remember Bobby Lashley was there at one time, who was doing very, very successful. Give me your thoughts on that, please.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I always had hoped it had been Lashley or even MVP. I personally never could understand sometimes the way that black people or African American talent were treated. So, not that they're treated poorly at work, but it's just like, for some reason we never could find the point to elevate people. I look at Kofi Kingston. Man, that guy is so talented, and he's just kind of stuck in purgatory right now, and in my opinion, just kind of not going anywhere. for me, that would have been awesome. I'm like I go back to like Ron Simmons, like that was my guy, man. Like when I was a kid, and like for me, I think that would have been awesome. I always loved Mark Henry, but I think Mark at that time had just he was just missing it. Like he kept making mistakes and matches and things like that, probably with the wrong people. And that's probably why that never happened. But I mean, for the most part, I don't know if it was intentional or it just never happened. But for me, it always kind of, bothered me a little bit, But that's the way it goes there sometimes.
Thank you, DJ. Thank you very much. To bring some clarity toward that issue. Tech?
Yeah, I know Shin had another quick WWE question before we turn it over to Lucha, so.
Okay. You guys keep teasing me.
Well, to say the truth, I would love to turn it over to Lucha, but I had this thing. You were talking about Kofi Kingston, and I was about to ask you about that because he was one of my favorite guys when he stepped in 2008. And after what NXT Game Boy had told me with Triple H killing all momentum that Kofi Kingston could have actually had, I just actually wanted to know that if there was anybody of today that you see, well, I don't know how much you are in WWE, so I can go to the past when you were there. If there was anybody of today or the past when you were working, who would you really, really improve that had potential, but they're actually doing worse when it comes to PR?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
good question.
Who on the WWE roster do I think is potential is kind of in playing mid card level?
Or even like stars
Kofi,
or just house shows.
For me, Kofi for sure. The other one would be Dolph Ziggler. What are they doing with that guy? That to me, when he was going back when he was Chavo's caddy, I thought that guy had talent. Even you go back when he was in the Spirit Squad, that guy had talent. That's definitely somebody that I can see that I just don't get why they just don't go there. Maybe it's the name. I don't know what it is, but give the guy the ball, give him a chance. But Kofi too. You go back to Kofi. Here's a guy that had chances, and then all of a sudden, in the middle of his push, it would be well, Kofi's gone. We made a commitment. I think maybe 2 or 3 separate years, usually at the beginning after WrestleMania, would sit down and say, let's take 3 or 4 guys, and they're going to be our projects, and we're going to push them to the moon this whole year, and see who makes it. And Kofi was always one of those guys, but for some reason, it just, I don't know how it happened or how it fell through, but I remember him fighting Randy Orton in Madison Square Garden. It was oh my God. And then nothing happened out of it.
Yeah.
It's just it just gets squashed. And crazy.
Well, I tell you this though, for those fans who don't know, there's a video on YouTube that somebody uploaded that NXT Game Boy brought to my attention about 5 years later after it aired, where Kofi, I think he was on SmackDown at the time or Raw, and they had a little battle with SmackDown and Raw with and DS was part of it, and Kofi is let's calm down, let's not get ahead of ourselves, whatever. And Triple H looks at him and says, I thought you were Jamaican, where's your accent? And I thought personally, thanks to NXT Game Boy, and it killed it.
That was on Raw.
But to be honest with you, I will throw this out there for the fans, but one of the guys that should be pushed to me right now is what a lot of people know is Claudio Castagnoli, who is now working at Cesaro in WWE,
right?
Because he has a stop and start when it comes to his pushes. He's the winner of the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, then he's a Heyman guy, and they're building him up with horrible music, which I like the foreign rap music that he had at first.
Like DJ said, he's in purgatory.
Now it's like Brock Lesnar came back. It is okay, we're gonna push you to the side because Brock Lesnar's here. We don't want no more Heyman guys. And then next he says something about Randy Orton and John Cena. And next you know, he gets pushed down, and now they got this thing called the Brass Ring Club with Tyson Kidd, who's another favorite, and Adam Rose, who I can't stand the character, but I like Leo Kruger, so that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I would agree with you about him.
Yeah.
Well, DJ, there's one more WWE question. No, I'm just joking with you. We were finally just building it up. Okay, we're finally going to transcend, if you will, to Lucha Underground. I know this would be a lot more happier topic for DJ. I do apologize. I do apologize.
Yeah, man, I'd rather
that,
promote my own show. But maybe talking about how the other shows not as successful might help more people catch some eyes on Lucha Underground.
Right. I do apologize. Let's say you're the second. Actually, you're the third representative of Lucha. We had Eric Van Wegman on, and then we also had, Ricky Ray, Cortez the Killer.
Awesome.
Yes. So, to you, working behind the scenes of Lucha, what motivates you to work for Lucha? What drives you every day, or how often you tend to set aside your time for Lucha to work there?
I mean, I work on Lucha, and I'm thinking about it all the time. For me, it's what motivates me is that I'm having a great time doing it, and the people that are involved in it. The people that are involved in it are having fun too, and to me that was something that I did not have at the WWE. It just became not fun after a while, and it was one of the first things when we started that Eric and I told the talent and told everybody involved, it's like, hey, let's have fun with this. Let's everybody be involved, everybody give ideas, everybody kind of take ownership of this, and let's see what we can turn this thing into, and I think we're getting a good start. Sometimes I have to remind myself that we've only had 12 episodes. Our 13th episode airs tomorrow night on El Rey, and that's a small time compared to the other shows that are out there. Not the wrestling shows that are out there. I think that motivates me. I think there's a little chip on my shoulder. Maybe not that little, but a little bit of a chip on my shoulder that wants to show that we can do it better, and that maybe the WWE missed out. I think there's other people on the roster of our show that I think have that same chip on their shoulder, and we're cool with that, and we like it, and we just want to do things different. I like the approach here where it's like nobody is held back on Lucha Underground because of the color of the skin, the language that they speak. It's really like if you come to do your job and do work, then you rise to the top, and that's the only thing that's there, and that's, it doesn't matter the way you look, the way if you come to work and you do your job and you kick ass at whatever it may be, you get rewarded, you get time, and those kinds of things. And I think another thing, sorry to just carry on, but it's like we came into this show and decided to start doing this, and Eric hired me, and I got to hire some friends of mine and guys I had worked with, like Matt Stolman and Chris Roach, who is the co-executive producer of Big Brother, and also somebody that I worked with on the creative team at WWE for a short time. We decided to sit down and make sure that everybody has some kind of story. That's always something that bothered me about modern day WWE or even sometimes TNA. It's like even we wanted to make it so that you care about every time anybody's on. Everybody's always has something, rather than just 3 guys or 4 guys that have storylines. Mm-hmm. And everybody has something important and has a character. So above all, I will say though, our number one motivation is fun with a big chip on my shoulder.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love it.
How big is the chip on your shoulder? How big is the chip on your shoulder?
It's pretty big.
That's we call him Big Dick Johnson again.
Chip Johnson or something, yeah.
Oh yeah, Big Chip Johnson. You know what? You know what? To us, DJ, that's your under the mat name right there, Big Chip Johnson.
I like that, man.
So I actually want to say this, DJ. This is going back to WWE just a bit when I say this. A lot of people are so soured on WWE's product. I usually ask them, what do you watch besides WWE? And they always tell us Lucha. And my response personally to them is that, well, Lucha, sometimes for NXT, but that's WWE product. I say Lucha is not a league or anything like that, so you have to go to another one. Now, I'm not discrediting Lucha because this is my favorite show. Like, people rush home to watch Lucha every Wednesday night on the El Rey Network, if you don't know. But what you said a couple minutes ago was fun. The word fun, F-U-N.
Right.
Well, that's how you spell it.
And that's I know this is for the people who can't spell fun. So I have to say that I really applaud it because Eric said that on the show. He said we're not trying to compete with WWE. We're just putting on a good show. And you guys are in many ways showing simplicity within wrestling. And there are many articles that are coming out to say why Lucha is better than WWE. And it's gone viral upon the internet. So, sir, I shake my hand to you. But also what the question is, as far as working for Lucha, what is one of the greatest things that you ever done, like storylines or writing or anything of that nature? Or who's your favorite character?
Well, I mean, I guess I don't have a favorite character. I love all the characters. They kind of, they are part of me and the other people who are working here. You know, you become kind of a part of all of them and try to think like they would think and be a part of it. I mean, as far as what do I think the greatest thing that we did, I mean, the Aztec Warfare was pretty cool. I know it was a tweak on the way they do the Royal Rumble, but we wanted to make a more exciting version. And I think that would be one thing. That's something that Chris Roach and I had thought about 3 years ago. We were trying to work at TNA, and we talked to them a few times, but they just never made it happen. So we moved on and worked on other things. Chris had a movie nonstop that came out that he wrote. I continued to work on Big Brother and other reality shows, and this opportunity came along.
Not like the reverse battle royal.
Yeah. Not like a reverse.
That horrible thing.
Yeah. Instead, we wanted to make a Royal Rumble with pinfall, submissions, no disqualifications, and it seemed to fit perfectly with Lucha and that style. I mean, really, what I'm probably the most proud of is just what's to come, because I know some things that are to come, and this story will keep playing out and hopefully keep everybody on the edge of their seats. It's been a tremendous response, but for me, the payoff will just to continue to see this show grow and continue to see wrestling fans support it and hopefully have fun watching it and being a part of it, because that's the most important thing. I mean, and if you invest your time to sit down and watch our show, you deserve something in return. And whether that's our storylines paying off, our short-term storylines, our long-term storylines, we owe that to you as fans and as creative people who are trying to make a quality television show. And that's what we're trying to do.
Okay.
That's beautiful. And I like how it's a consistency in the storylines that you can actually follow. It's not like any plot holes or anything within Lucha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it becomes a little easier sometimes. They have El Rey Network and the people from Burnett have just, even Eric has, obviously with their supervision and some of their input, have given us the green light to think outside the box, be creative, and tell our stories rather than micromanaging every decision that we make and changing things on the fly, like sometimes happen a lot.
Oh my God!
In Stanford. More than you know.
Let me ask you a question. With Lucha being a television show with season, you got a season finale and everything, and WWE quote unquote have season premieres, which I don't understand because it never really ends. But anyway,
let's not forget the season premiere was here. It aired here in Baltimore.
But in order to have a season premiere, you have to have a season finale.
Right, he never announced it.
But my question to you is that is there any way Lucha may go on and be syndicated every week and won't be pretty much by season? Or do you think that they're going to still keep the television season to season with the format?
I don't know what they choose to do. I'm open to anything. I will say, to me personally, I like having a season and a definitive ending, and then to get the audience built up and have them excited about coming back. That was one thing, even I bring up WWE again. Damn it. Going back to the WWE, I know as a writer there, it's like, why couldn't we just end at WrestleMania and then, come back 3 months later at whatever pay-per-view that was and just take a little break, keep the show on tour, after WrestleMania, but give everybody some creative time to decompress, to
breathe,
look at things with with look at things a different way, listen to what the audience had to say, and then come back at it with some anticipation and some excitement. Sometimes that road that never ends, or is it the book that never ends? It's like nobody wants to read a bad book that never ends.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah, good point.
Man. Well, would they? I know this may be a little far-fetched, but and of course I know NSC Game Boy love this question since he's a professional gamer. Have there been talks, DJ, about possibly doing a Lucha Underground video game? Because Lord knows we need some other video games besides WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hope there is, but I don't want to play you. I don't want to play you guys because we have professional games. Man.
that's NFC. That's NFC Game Boy.
I'm lucky if I could win a game of Madden online.
That's my area. I play you in Madden, DJ.
I hate.
You'll be the one in purgatory.
Oh, right. I hope a Lucha. I think there will be nothing cooler than to see a Lucha Underground video game. So, hopefully that does happen, man. I just think something like that would be awesome. I know some people have made like mock-up ones online that I've seen, which are pretty awesome. And I know the El Rey Network, they put out a little like a match to promote Puma versus Phoenix. They put out like a little 8-bit or 16-bit like Street Fighter thing. I'm like, man, I wish they would just make that game. I would play that all the time. So that would be awesome. Totally awesome. I hope that happens. And hey, man, we just keep growing. I just don't see any reason why it wouldn't.
One thing, just make sure, unlike, and we're not mentioning WWE, unlike TNA's video game, make sure that y'all include back grapples in your game.
What? Wait, what?
Because back grapples. DJ, have you played the TNA Impact game that came out a few years ago?
No.
Okay.
They don't have back grapples?
Yeah, no, go back. I know you have friends in the business. There's no back grapples whatsoever. The angle slam is a front grapple.
If we do make a video game, we got to bring you guys on as consultants.
Yes, hey, we're right for it. Hey, I'm serious.
Sell some merch, no background.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Tech, DJ, Big Chip Johnson. But right now on Twitter, there's a trend going #back grapples right now.
Yes.
So just want to let you know.
Let's get it trending worldwide.
Yes.
Yes.
Matter of fact, one of our crew members will probably tweet you now, DJ, and #back grapples.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I'm sorry.
Actually, if I have any say, I'll
try my best to make sure that happens.
Oh my goodness! Not to make it serious again though, but I have a question for you because you actually brought this point up. You say that, damn it, I gotta say it again. WWE, you would like to see WrestleMania happen, and then after that take a small break or vacation. Now, I've been hearing this argument for many years on end about taking many vacations, but we all know in life that Vince McMahon is not going to sleep or take a vacation. He's that kind of guy. So I like to hear more about this. I mean, what would you do personally as a writer if Vince came up to say, "Come on, guys, we're going to take a mini vacation here. So let me know what you think." You know, if he came in the room like that. Oh, thank you.
If I had the opportunity, I mean, I wouldn't believe it. That would probably never happen. Cause I pitched it to him at least two or three times, and he looked at me like I was crazy. He looked at me like he was going to shoot laser beams right through my head. Like,
he gave you the bug eyes?
Oh, my God, man. The death stare.
Anybody?
Well, I can imagine him coming in the room and just be like, "For real?"
He didn't like it when people would. He didn't like it if somebody took a personal vacation.
What?
Oh no!
That's
wait,
not
you
right.
can take business vacations?
It's like, wait, but I have 3 weeks vacation. He didn't like it. Oh, no way.
Well, I will say this though, that I do remember one infamous vacation that somebody took, and that was one of the legends, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Tech, I know you remember this, where he wanted to take off because his wife was pregnant, and they had him in this phony baloney match with the Honky Tonk Man, and he did all these stuff with Randy Savage, won this epic match at WrestleMania 3, and then like 2 or 3 months later, he lost to the Honky Tonk Man on a roll up, like a 1 minute match. Anybody remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, definitely did.
I don't, but I'm hearing you.
That's a strange man.
Yeah, he's very eccentric from what I'm hearing.
Now, DJ, of course, back to Lucha.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
We're going back on the Lucha road since Shin loves the WWE road.
No. Hold up. Hey, wait a minute. I'm the one that introduced you guys to Lucha Underground. I was the one who was watching.
Negative.
Remember that?
Moving on. So DJ,
you guys were like
back on the Lucha road.
He was one of the first people tweeting about Lucha too. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, he is. I knew about I already knew about Lucha, but yeah, Shimblade is the person to help bring Lucha to the forefront on Twitter, kind of like Abraham, if you will, the beginning. Shin we gave Shin his props since he wanted to get it online and live. Now, DJ, back to the question.
Yeah.
Back to Lucha. Now,
where's
with Lucha being what it is.
Yeah.
One, we know recently, and we got to touch this. It'll probably be a regular thing. You get asked this a lot. Lucha just signed Alberto Del Rio or El Patron, which is a big signing. What are your thoughts on Del Rio, and could you give us some insight, maybe a quick sneak peek of how he'll be used in upcoming events?
I will tell you that it was awesome to sign Alberto. Alberto El Patron, as he is called now. We worked together in the WWE. I was writing his promos, like his very beginning and an intro into the WWE before I left. So we have a great relationship with one another, and I think it's exciting, man. I think he brings some star power to our show, along with a whole lot of talent and experience, and I think hopefully the addition of him will continue us in this upward trajectory that we're headed right now. I mean, so I think the addition of Alberto will be great. And I will say, I don't know, tune into Lucha Underground. You never know when El Patron is going to show up.
Well, wow. Well,
that's all I'm going to give you guys. That's all I'm going to give you guys. You got to watch the show, man.
No. Thank you.
Don't read the spoilers here. That's no funny.
No, I hate them.
Hey, I have no problem with that, man. That's okay for us. We can move past that. You know what I mean? My next question is that Lucha being the new kid on the block and really having a voice of his own, what is the initial goal that you would like to see Lucha in the next 2 years? I'm not going to say 5 because that's cliche. I'm going to say 2 years because in the world of Lucha, I can see it growing. And it's only, like you said, it's only the 13th episode. And look at how the fan base is already. We already talking about video games for it, and it's only on its 13th episode. So I'm going to say 2 years. What do you think Lucha should be at in 2 years? Your opinion?
Oh, gosh, I mean, hopefully a little more of a global power. Get into some other countries and spread that way. I also hope the word will spread over across the United States, and hopefully in 2 years we'll be still making good TV shows. I think we will. I think there'll be some more star power, things like that. I know there's been fans that say, "Oh, you need to do 2 hours." I don't know if that's the right answer for what happens. I think it's kind of a wait and see thing. I just want to see this show grow and hopefully reach a lot more people and kind of them see a show where there's a good mix of characters and styles and fun. But I mean, in 2 years, I hope it continues to be a success. I hope it's a huge success. You want my honest to God opinion? I hope everybody knows about Lucha Underground. Just to set a high goal, sure. I hope that's the case. But we're going to keep plugging away, put our nose to the ground, and keep making good TV shows.
All right.
With that too. Yeah, something, Sean?
Yeah, I have to say personally that Lucha, I believe, not blowing on horns here, but Under the Mat Radio has been doing a lot of street work for Lucha Underground. We're telling everybody about it. So fans, if you don't know where Lucha Underground has been coming from, trending as far as Baltimore is concerned, you can thank Under the Mat Radio for doing that, because we talk about it all the time. And we would debate how better Lucha is from WWE. And the key word into it, 2 key words, is simplicity and fun. Now, with that being said, I have to say personally that it's breathing new life into former stars in itself. Like, you got John Morrison, Johnny Mundo. It's exciting to see him. And a new character who appeared last episode, I know her actual name, Angela Fong, but I forgot her character name as well.
You'll learn her character name very shortly.
Okay.
Intriguing.
She used to be. For those who don't know, she used to be Savannah in ECW and NXT before it got rebranded as a ring announcer. She got tired and she left because she wanted to wrestle, but they wouldn't let her. So that's how it is.
And she was. I remember Dusty Rhodes told told us, man, that she was at one time like the best female wrestler in FCW and NXT at the time, and it's just amazing that we would have put her as Savannah, a backstage interviewer. But yeah, we're happy to have Angela. Angela is just such a great girl and such a cool talent and so much fun to work with. She's one of my favorites. So that's been fun for me too. Like between Angela and Chavo and Johnny, these were all people that I had great relationships with. Even Rick. You know, we had great working relationships with one another and in the WWE, and it was awesome to get them to come be a part of this show.
Wow.
Yes.
You see how delightful he is when he speak about Lucha compared to how gloomy he was when he was talking about Day-Day-E? Like, you notice that? Like, when DJ talked about the Day-Day-E, it was just so gloomy and
he's
just like...
breathing heavy. He was like, oh.
Yeah, you know, like, you about to have an asthma attack or something. Like, just, how did I make it through? Like, you know, he talking about Lucha. It's like, you know... Like you can go outside and feel the air, the trees,
I was like,
the flop.
Right, when I talk about that, I was like a dog in a shelter, and then somebody just came and rescued me, and now I'm all happy with my tongue out.
Oh.
You know, like a beaten dog.
Wow.
Well, this applies in life also with major corporations working for them. Yeah, it plays a part with major corporations where, you know, you get guaranteed benefits, you get guaranteed pay and everything, but you're just working like a damn slave all day. Then you get this job of a lesser plateau and you have more creative freedom. And sometimes in life, for people that need to listen, sometimes in life, you know, all you got to do is smell the roses in order to, you know, you see the forest for the trees.
And we all
I mean, but don't get me wrong. Like,
right.
I was going to say, Mark Burnett is a force in television. I mean, between The Voice and Survivor, The Bible. I mean, I work for them. I mean, it's a major corporation, but they trust their people. They trust they trust the talented people that are working on this show.
Word.
And that's
he said it. He said it. It's
right.
No. Vince McMahon don't trust his people.
Yeah, he did.
He don't. Yeah. Vince McMahon do not trust his
people.
Yeah,
that's true.
He don't let people take off on vacations.
Yeah, he don't trust his people to do what he paid them to do. That's crazy.
because everything starts and ends with Vince. Now, I hate to pull this moment out, but I know we're gonna laugh when we hear this.
No WWE road. No WWE road. No WWE road.
No.
We're keeping DJ happy.
Keep it on the side of the table, man.
Okay.
We're keeping DJ happy.
I'll email you the question. DJ.
Ask me on Twitter. I'll respond.
DJ, let us know on the serious note. DJ, definitely let us know that any talks down the line about a video game for Lucha, you have our contact. Let us know. We'll be happy. Definitely, NFC Game Boy. If you need help with anything, any ideas, we'll be honored to help you out in that area.
No doubt.
The world needs bad grappling.
I got you, man. I will put my expertise to the mantle. Yeah. I got you, man.
Hey, I wanted to thank you guys, though, by the way. I don't know if we're done here, but I do want to thank you guys for spreading the word in Baltimore. I love Baltimore. I just want to give a shout-out to Baltimore. It's one of the best wrestling towns. I always love coming there and doing shows there at the First Mariner. Is that what it's still called now?
No, it's Royal Farms Arena.
Arena Chicken Box.
Man, that's an old school place, man, but always had some fun memories there, and thanks for spreading the word there for sure. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
No,
thank you.
No problem at all.
Well, honestly, we got to say that since Under the Mat will be working with Lucha Underground on the video game, is there any chance that Tech, NXT Game Boy, and the Sensational want to be DLC characters in the game?
Maybe we can.
I'm good. I don't want to be. I'm cool.
So you put us in the special characters.
I'm good. I don't want to be part of the game. I play it, test it, and all that. You know, I'd like to be there when to be one of the testers if I could. I'll test it out, and I do not want to be part of the game, because if you be part of the game, that means you're going to have to be part of the show. You want to be part of the show. Yeah. I can't wrestle.
Well, I've seen Lucha. It's not WWE
be talking about. I've seen Lucha.
Right.
Nah, I'm good.
And DJ, since George has the gaming background, I have the wrestling background, so I'll be more than honored to actually wrestle on, to actually be on the video game. You can add Shin as a manager, or add him as an actual wrestler too. I'm not sure what move Shin to use, but
I could be one of the fans that's holding up a sign in the crowd. You know, like the automatic fans that always be holding up different signs. I could be one of those.
GM NSC Game Boy. Be GM with Dario Cuerto.
Oh, for NSC Game Boy.
And then put hashtag no backdraft.
Yeah, hashtag no backdraft
on the sign.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? Here's an idea. I can hold a sign, and throughout a match, if you catch the sign, it can have a code, and if you put the code in like on the beginning of the game or something, it can unlock a new different mode, or like a arena or something. See?
Damn.
I'd rather do that.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. See?
Oh yeah.
Skills, son.
Okay.
Skills.
But real quick, guys, like I said, I know we have our next guest we have to bring in, but DJ, Kristian Joseph, Big Chip Johnson, thank you much for coming on to the show.
Nah, man, thank you guys for having me, for sure.
Anything you want to go ahead and plug or promote real quick before we let you go?
I mean, here we go, right off the bat. Follow at Lucha El Rey. Follow at Chris DeJoseph on Twitter. I might not be the most exciting follow, but it's fun. I'm always checking out Lucha Underground tweets and things like that. And at the same thing, watch Lucha Underground every Wednesday on the El Rey Network at 8 p.m. Eastern. And check it out on Unimas in Spanish. If you can't catch it in English, or if that's the way you prefer to watch the show. A lot of people like it that way too. So I will tell you, this is just going to keep getting better. I don't want to sound cocky about it, but I've seen some things. It's going to get crazy in the temple. So be ready. Thanks for the support, guys. I'll spread the word about Under the Mat Radio too, and thanks a lot for your time.
No problem.
Thank you, DJ, man. You take care of yourself.
Yeah, it was a pleasure talking to you guys.
No problem.
Thank you.
Take care.
Everybody, that was the man himself, DJ Kristian Joseph, Big Chip Johnson, co-executive producer of Lucha Underground. Real quick, we'll give our synopsis of the interview. I'm going to bring in right now, live, the man himself, co-host of Schmoes Knows, great web series, great podcast. I've been following these guys for a while. I want to bring him in, who is live now on Under the Mat Radio, Kristian Harloff. Welcome to Under the Mat Radio.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Hey, man.
What's going on?
Hey, how's it going?
How you guys doing? I'm excited to talk to you guys. Thank you for reaching out and saying the nice words.
No problem, man. Definitely no problem. Real quick, of course, we do this everything. You know, any name you want us to call us? Do you want us to call you Kristian, K?
Yeah, whatever. Look, it's the first time on the show. It's your guys' show. Whatever you want to call me, just don't call me a douche.
Gotcha.
Nah.
Definitely won't. Real quick, of course, here, we talk about pro wrestling, pop culture, music, comic books, everything, movies, definitely. We'll get to everything. Something a fan brought to my attention earlier today, which I had no idea of, maybe our correspondent knew, is that before we talk about your show, movies, is it true you had a run-in with The Rock on WWE TV about some years ago?
Oh yeah, I did. I was a writer. I was a writer for the WWE back in the day. One of my I was like a 21-year-old kid at the time, and they it's funny because I actually put it up on one of our channels, and they had said to me, "Hey, you want to do a scene with The Rock?" I'm like, "No." So I basically sat back, and it was, I don't know if you guys remember the APA, and
yes.
The Rock comes walking over, and he's like, "Excuse me, you know where I can find the APA? And I was like, it's down the hall. He's like, are you new here? And I was like, yeah, I am. And he sticks his hand out and he goes, The Rock. I'm like, awesome. And I'm about to give him my name. And he goes, no. And he walks away without letting me say my name. And then it's funny because I ran into him at a party in L.A. about, 2 years later. And I was talking to him. And by the way, I don't know if you guys have interviewed him or not, but he is the sweetest dude. He's such a good dude. And I sat there and talking to him for, it was right after the rundown came down. So I was talking to him for maybe, half an hour, 45 minutes. And at the end of the night, he came up to me and said, hey, man, it was great talking to you again. I go, yeah, it was good. He said, what was your name again? I was like, oh, he goes, no. I said, you son of a bitch, did it again.
Wow.
Man. Definitely want to say, as a writer real quick, can you tell us your experiences with being in WWE for the time that you were?
Yeah, I mean, the way it works, and I don't know if it's changed since, this is like 2001, and so the way it kind of worked, I was a hardcore fan for a long, long time, and my buddy at the time, his girlfriend at the time actually worked in like their accounting department, and WrestleMania 17 was going on in Dallas, I think it was, and I was in LA, and I was like, you know what, I got to find a way to go talk to some of these people to find out how I'd be a writer. So we drove from L.A. to Houston. That's where it was in Houston. And we went there, and I had seen all these wrestlers at the bar at the hotel that we were staying at, and I saw Paul Heyman. And I walked up to him, and I said, hey, Paul, I know you get this question all the time about how to be a wrestler, but how do you become a writer? And he goes, write a letter. I go, I already did that. He goes, write another one. I said, all right. So I went home after the event was over, and I made sure I found out who all the people that I should be writing letters to. There was probably 12 or 13. I wrote a bunch of them, and I kept sending them out, and I sent a whole bunch. And finally, it was like Shawshank Redemption, like at the very end when they just stop writing letters, we'll read your stuff. And they read it, and Stephanie's like, Stephanie wants you to submit, because Stephanie was head of the writing team, so Stephanie wants you to submit some samples. So it was right as the WCW and it was getting bought off from the WWF at the time. So I was writing some sample storylines, and they liked it. They flew me out. I had a big meeting with the writing team and everybody, and I liked what I was doing. And the way it works is they kind of bring you on. They bring out LA writers for a bit, and they will have them kind of give ideas and stuff. And I was only there for about a month and a half, maybe 2 months, and they move you on. And my friend who was a writer beforehand had told me that. He's like, you'll probably be there for a little bit. They'll like your ideas, and then they'll probably shift you out after about 2 months. But it's like being part of the circus. It was a blast.
All right.
Wow.
That's a big surprise. You see, we had no idea you was a WWE writer, and we just had guests before you was a former WWE writer for a long time. So everything's kind of ironic, definitely.
Yeah.
With that being said, I'm gonna turn it over to my co-host NXT Game Boy.
Well, I want you to give fans a synopsis of your show. Tell the fans out there exactly, what is it about your show? Because I was doing my research beforehand, and Tech told me about you was coming on the show a few weeks ago, and I was looking at it, and I was just cracking up, like dying laughing. It's a very entertaining show. So give us a synopsis. What exactly is the show about, and what got you to really start doing this webisode?
Yeah, sure, man, and thank you. So basically, my partner and I, Mark Ellis, I came from the stand-up comedy world. I was regular at the Comedy Store and the Improv. I did stand-up for a very long time. That was my job. 7 days a week, 2 shows a night. That's what I did. And while I was doing that, and I also was also working for Warner Brothers at the time for Joel Silver. He had a production company there, and I worked there in development. But while I was there, and I was doing comedy in the clubs, I met Mark Ellis, who's another comedian, and he and I just kind of became buddies. And long story short is that we started back in 2007. We started reviewing kind of before anybody else was really doing it. We were putting ourselves on camera and talking about movies, just the way that you guys do. Like if the camera's off and there's no radio on, you guys just go see a movie and you go back and forth and you just give your real thoughts. That's kind of what we said. Let's just do that on camera and just take it from our point of view and see how it works. And we took it to YouTube really at the end of 2008, and we just called it Schmoes No. They're just true average regular Joes, regular Schmoes who are just going to kind of give our opinions the way everybody else does. And it kind of caught on for a bit, and we said, like everything else, we wanted to evolve it. So we became regulars on the Adam Carolla podcast for a little bit. And
my favorite.
Yeah, dude, he's the best. And it was really good to us.
Yeah.
He got us some exposure out there. And then after we were on Adam's show for a while, we decided we wanted to kind of create our own podcast and start our own show. And we did. And our first guest was Katie Sackhoff, from Battlestar Galactica and Riddick. And she came on, and from there, it just kind of evolved. And eventually we were able to take it to a studio, and we wanted to. I'm a big Howard Stern fan. He is one of my idols, and I just really liked what he did with bringing in, not only being able to his interview style, but what he has done with his crew, and it was just something I always agreed with. And it's also the Adam Sandler model, regardless of what you think about his movies, keeping your friends around you and keeping your friends close to you because they really help you succeed in life. And I had met my buddy Ken Knapsack, who we lovingly call the Pit Boss on our show, and he's been with us for a long time. And we have like a whole crew now that we have a back and forth with, and it's just the answer to your question is, well, the show really is just regular people talking about movies, movie lovers, sharing our opinions, and trying to put like a funny everyday spin on it. So it's not you won't get lost. I think that if you're not like a movie lover, you can watch our show and still you'll get knowledge maybe you didn't know about before, and we can keep you informed about stuff, but you'll also be there for the personalities, to where it's not just so specific for film fans to where they're like, oh, I don't really care about movies that much, I'm going to be lost. We hope that the personalities keep you there.
Okay. Thank you for that.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I'm going to turn it over to Shinbleed, our correspondent.
Well, actually, Kristian, I'm a big movie guy. Like, I watch movies when I'm not doing Under the Mat Radio or correspondent work. And I've never watched your podcast, I will admit that, but I did hear about you guys on the Adam Carolla show. And it's also, I just found out about a couple hours ago that you guys are now certified critics on Rotten Tomatoes, which is amazing. It's something that I never heard from Matt Achety, who created Rotten Tomatoes. I want to ask you, since 2015 is here, what is the best movie that you ever seen in 2014, and what is one of your favorites?
Oh man, 2014. I'll give you three. Again, and they're all from three different genres here too. I would say Whiplash, the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and Selma were three movies that I thought really were super powerful. Oh, and Nightcrawler. I'll give you four movies to me that really stuck out in 2014.
Wow, Nightcrawler was good.
Oh
yeah,
man.
I'm about to watch it tonight.
You got to see
Nightcrawler tonight. So yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal turns that dude just shuts off. Like you don't see Jake Gyllenhaal, you just see some crazy sociopath who's you'll never look at local.
Don't give it away.
I'm not.
No, he's not giving it away. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. That's okay. No, that's one of the things. That's actually a good point, because one of the things we pride ourselves on, Schmoes, is that we won't give spoilers in our reviews ever. So we just hope that we can describe the movie for you, that you get excited for it, because it's just you will just never look at local news the same ever again after watching Nightcrawler.
Wow.
Wow.
And I will give I will give big ups to our good old buddy Rod Feinstein, who runs our video. Rod Feinstein was the one that told me when Nightcrawler came out to say it, because he said it was a very good movie. Because by the looks of it, I knew Jake Gyllenhaal was a great actor. Just looking at the trailer, it didn't really catch my eye. But Rod Feinstein told me go check it out. It's pretty good, and I do have a copy here at the house, and I'll definitely be checking it out. On the strength of Rod Feinstein and LU. Kristian, and I'll definitely let you know what I think of the movie too.
Please.
Yeah. Real quick, Kristian, we have a caller that wants to ask you a question. Is that okay?
Of course.
Okay. I'm gonna bring in El Cheeky. Welcome to Under the Mat Radio with Kristian Harloff.
My question is, what's your opinion on trauma movies? Do you like them or do you hate them?
On who? I'm sorry.
Trauma movies, like the people that make the Toxic Avenger, Sergeant Kabuki Man.
Oh, right. No, I actually like them. I get a kick out of them. I think that if they're done and they embrace their genre, look, I love the Toxic Avenger, man. I remember watching those things as I was a kid. As long as movies in that genre don't take themselves too seriously and embrace what they are, yeah, I'm all for them. I think they're hysterical. That's a great question.
Any other questions you had, Cheeky?
Yeah, my other question is, what's your favorite TV show that did a episode about pro wrestling? Mine is The Incredible Hulk.
What's my favorite TV show that had a pro wrestler? Is that what you said?
That did a pro wrestling type episode as a theme.
Either that or Walker, Texas Ranger.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's asking Kristian. What TV series did you enjoy that had an episode themed on pro wrestling? Like Boy Meets World had Vader.
Right.
That kind of stuff.
Married with Children.
Married with Children.
Yes, Married with Children.
Yeah, Married with Children. I'd have to think about that, but that's. I used to like watching the Arsenio Hall show. This one used to interview like the Ultimate Warrior and stuff. That used to be fun, but that was not really an episode of TV. I'd have to think about that.
Damn, you like that one?
Yeah, that was funny.
All right, Cheeky. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
All right, go ahead, Kristian. You were saying you like watching Arsenio Hall back in the day. You had Warrior and Savage and Bad News Brown.
He used to have everybody on. Yeah, he used to have everybody on back in the day. You can still YouTube all those clips. They're pretty awesome. Like some of the ones that the Warrior. I would like a ham sandwich. You never understood what he was saying.
Oh my God! No! Oh my God!
Something that me, NSC Game Boy, Shin, we go on the road to shows. We start talking about when it comes to movies. It's movies we don't speak of, or movies that never happened, and movies that are just so bad that we just act like never existed. For instance, Predator 2 for us, RoboCop 3. Help me out, NSC Game Boy. American Ninja 5.
Blade Trinity.
Yeah, Blade Trinity.
Blade Trinity. Yeah.
So,
oh God,
let us know, Kristian, what are some of the movies that would you award of that never happened at all? We just don't speak of it.
Rocky 5.
Yes, that's
really
good one.
Yes,
Rocky
good one.
5. Yeah, and Caddyshack 2.
Yes, another good one.
Yeah, I guess you can also do Highlander 2. Bad one. Some people. I go back and forth on the Star Wars prequels because if they weren't as bad as they were, then we wouldn't be getting Episode 7 now. So, trying to some other ones. Major League 3. There's one, or even 2.
They did
oh my
3,
God.
Yeah,
yes,
RoboCop 3. RoboCop 3. Oh yes, you know what? Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man should never be dancing on pianos and crying.
Exactly.
Well, also Kristian.
Oh, how about Batman and Robin?
Yeah,
Batman and Robin.
Spider-Man 3.
Batman and Robin is a great comedy, though.
Actually, I got to interject on this one. Spider-Man 3, it was horrible, but Venom should have not been the same size as Spider-Man. That's the problem I had.
Exactly. That's why that movie never happened.
Yeah, it was like,
it was horrible.
You had Eric Foreman playing Venom, which was crazy.
Yep. Oh, I got another one. How about X-Men 3? And here's a reason why. And I'll ask you guys this question.
Yes, Kristian, please tell them.
What is? And this is a very simple question. What is Magneto's power? What's his power?
Magnetism.
Right. So why is his hideout in the woods?
That's a good question.
Wait a minute.
Hey.
I'm confused about this. I'm confused about this. Magneto's hideout was in the woods. I thought that was X-Men 2.
No, that's 3.
No.
Number 3.
What was that?
That was 3. That was the last stand.
Yeah, it was so bad they had to erase the timeline in X-Men Days of Future Past.
Yeah,
They even threw the Morlocks into the Last Stand. The whole time, when you had the Morlocks in the same time zone as the Dark Phoenix, was just totally off. If you follow the chronological timeline of the comic books, I will
admit, this is one of the few movies I actually threw my drink at the screen, and I'm gonna tell you the thing why. I think I was in Towson. I threw my drink at the screen.
Really?
I was so. Juggernaut is not a mutant. Juggernaut's not a mutant.
You threw your drink at the screen. They apologized to you.
Huh? Well, I mean, I was sitting so close to because I got there kind of late. So, I didn't get there late where I saw the movie, but I got there where it was opening night, so I had to sit up front. So when I threw it, it wasn't like all the way in the middle of the screen. It was kind of like in the corner somewhere. So it was still watchable, but people next to me was mad. But I don't care because I paid my ticket. I was mad. Juggernaut's not a mutant.
They were mad.
He was stopped. He was stopped because he was so-called, quote-unquote, a mutant. He got around a child or the kid who shuns mutant powers. And I did not understand how he was stopped and he's not a mutant.
Exactly. That's why it should have been canceled. And they weren't. By the way, they weren't mad that you threw your drink. They were mad you didn't throw two.
Yes. People did applaud at him throwing a drink.
Go ahead.
If you will, call fans. If you want to call in and tell us the movie that you think that it never should have happened, please call us at 347-677-1862 and press 1, because right now I'm stumped in my mind of movies that should have never existed. I'm sure Tech has. I did mention X-Men 3 in the car because I hated it so much. I even bought the DVD when it came out, wasted my $20, and then I just gave it away because to me it didn't make sense, just like what any Game Boy has said. But honestly, I want to go back to Rocky V, if you will.
Yeah.
Why?
My absolute favorite. My absolute favorite is Rocky III because my stepdad growing up, he always told me about Mr. T, and he would just play it over and over again. Now, actually, not Rocky V. Guys, let's go back to Rocky IV and ask Kristian, what do you think about the 4 to 6 montages they had in that movie?
Oh, it was great.
In number 4, I mean, they used it great. I mean, you got Eddie Money singing that song with the longest montage in history, as he's got the southpaw in the back of the car. That movie was it was a great music video. I love the Rocky IV. It's not my favorite, but I absolutely, the first 4 are great. 6 I actually enjoyed. They're basically, I think you talk about doing it over for because now you have. Yeah, well, we have to have Creed. Creed's coming out. So basically, what I mean by that, so when
I forgot
Creed
who casted for that.
They got Michael B. Jordan to play Apollo Creed's grandson, and Rocky's going to be training him. So
God, no!
Oh man, I love it.
Actually, that's pretty damn good.
That's good.
I love
He's
it.
He's playing him in Torch in the next Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah, that's the part I scoff at. That's the part I scoff at. That and Channing Tatum playing Gambit in X-Men. I fucking hate that.
See, I'm not. I used to be. Let me ask you a question. Did you see Foxcatcher?
No, but I plan to watch it this weekend. Even Kurt Angle tweeted about that.
Yeah, because Kurt Angle was trained by David Schultz. One of who Mark Ruffalo.
Before he was killed.
Yeah. So the reason I bring that movie up is because, look, I was with you very much over the last I'd say 3-4 years ago, I couldn't even pronounce Channing Tatum's name. I used to call him Chatting Chat because I didn't think that he was just one. Just a one-note actor. Doesn't really do anything. But to give this guy respect, he has changed. He's a hard-working dude, and he really does well in Foxcatcher. And I understand the skepticism as far as saying, this dude's not Gambit. But after seeing what he's been able to do, and I just came back from watching Jupiter Ascending, and he's actually the best part. The movie itself is nothing to rave about, but he's actually the best part about it. And I think I will tell you that I have a little bit more hope for him in the role. I think he's I understand it though. I get where people go, I don't know about him as Gambit. He's a fan. He's a fan of the character, and I think he might actually do some justice to it.
Okay, what about Ben Affleck as Batman?
What's that? Ben Affleck as Batman?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes,
I like it.
If you watch like when we put our archives up of our show, and when that announcement came in, I had about as much of a fit like you just had on Channing Tatum. I had that fit on Ben Affleck because I said nothing against the man right now because he's one of the best directors that we have right now. He's been so good. Gone Girl. Yeah. Not Gone Girl. Excuse me, direct Gone Girl, but Gone Baby Gone. Gone Baby Gone. The Town and Argo.
Argo.
Well,
not Argo.
I think
Argo was it.
What's that?
No, it wasn't Argo. Argo was that movie.
No, Argo was
that sheriff.
Yeah, no, Argo. He directed Argo.
Yeah, he directed Argo. So the initial, I was judging him. I think everybody kind of judges you. You think of Daredevil, you think of Geely, you think of all these crap bombs that he's done over the course of his career. But you also got to realize the headspace that he was in. The other thing that you also have to realize is that when you go into that deal, if you're Ben Affleck meeting with Warner Brothers, that you know as far as what you're doing with your directing career, there's got to be an end game. Don't be surprised. His end game is going to be able to direct a standalone Batman film. And because of that, when he commits fully to a role, I mean, if you saw Gone Girl, he was great in Gone Girl. He was great in Argo. His focus is a lot different now. So I've spinned around. I was against it. I'm actually really for it now. And the dude looks like Batman. He put on his costume, looks like Batman.
Well, real quick, the prelude on what you said, Kristian, is also give ups to you for Ben Affleck for the movie The Town, which was a pretty good movie I actually enjoyed. I think that was his directorial debut. What I told people...
No. Gone Baby Gone was his first.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Gone Baby Gone. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, The Town was a good movie too. And you know what I told people is that all the hate is why is Ben Affleck playing Batman? It's going to suck. And what I told them is you got to wait because it's like when Heath Ledger was announced to play the Joker. We all grew up with Jack Nicholson's Joker. If you a little older, you had the '60s Batman Joker. Everybody was hating against it. Once Heath Ledger did an awesome job, everything changed. So I just told people just let's wait and see. Plus, you'll understand what Ben Affleck is saying as Batman, unlike Christian Bale. We've seen The Dark Knight Rises and The Dark Knight where he was saying it all.
Between Batman.
Yeah, so between Christian Bale and Bane, you're trying to follow that.
Well,
Speaking of that, I know me and NSC Game we talked about that. What are your honest views on The Dark Knight Rises, on the Bane character and the voice? Because a lot of people have been either way with it.
Well, let me ask you a question. Why do you want to kill me? Mark Ellis actually, he has more of a problem with The Dark Knight Rises than I do. I actually really enjoy it because here's the thing with the movies. Like Batman, for me, if you go from order from best to worst, for me, I go The Dark Knight, then I go Batman Begins, and then I go Dark Knight Rises. But when I think of those movies, what the first two did is that they said it. No one said it in such a realistic place and put it in such a realistic world that by the time the third movie rolled around, and you essentially got a Batman movie, and there's some cartoon stuff, and there were a lot of holes in that movie for sure. But he had already set us up in this realistic world that we were not going to allow any holes. And if there was anything in there, people are going to have a lot of problems with it. And that's not to say, like, I didn't mind. I liked the character of Bane. I didn't like that essentially he became a henchman by the end of the movie, and he wasn't the ultimate villain. But as far as the overall set, I liked it. It felt like Batman to me. I always say to people like that have problems with the last one, it's like, go back and watch Batman and Robin and tell me if you have a problem with Batman and Robin.
That never happened. Batman family never happened.
Don't bring it up.
Well, I have to say that, growing up, I saw Tim Burton's Batman, and it was pretty dark, and, I was fearful of the Penguin, and Batman Returns, and then they got all cartoony with the Schumachers.
Are you still scared of the Penguin, Chin?
No. I just thought it was really, really dark because the way that Oswald Cobblepot grew up and everything, and then now they got Gotham as a series, which is doing loads excellent on TV. Actually, you mentioned one of. Excuse me. Shut up.
Go ahead.
Oh God. You mentioned one of the greatest movies of 2014, also called Gone Girl. Now, you have seen Gone Girl. Tag NXT Game Boy, have you seen it?
We watched
but I know
the
story
of Gone Girl. Yeah.
I know the story, but I didn't see the movie. I know the twist ending and all that stuff. Yeah, I know.
Because the ending pissed me off as well as a lot of people that I knew that saw that movie. But also another movie that I liked was a sleeper hit in 2014 was Chef with
I love Chef.
Yeah, it's a great movie. It was a sleeper though.
Kristian, your thoughts on Chef?
Did I see Chef? Is that what you said?
Yes.
You saw it. They love it.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it twice. I love Chef. I thought Chef was. It was right. It was nice to see Favreau kind of get back to his roots and do that kind of small film. But man, you better go into that movie with a full stomach. You get hungry watching that film.
Oh, I bought my lunch to the movie theaters on that one. I was hungry anyway, so nobody was in the movie theater. So
wait, Shane. And now, Kristian, did you say you brought your lunch to the movie theaters? Isn't that illegal?
Well, the one down on I'm sorry, I ain't trying to snitch or nothing like that. But the one on Harbor East in Baltimore City, you can bring anything in the theater as long as you don't bring alcohol because they sell their alcohol.
Oh.
So you can come out there with sandwiches and chips and everything. As long as you don't be littering and everything. And
speaking of that,
Kristian,
I know you go to the movies a lot with Mark. What is your favorite snack food in the movie theaters? I know everyone has their preferences, popcorn or Coke or Mike and Ice or what have you. What's the one thing when you go to a movie theater you have to snack on, have to have?
Pretzels and cheese. My heart's going to blow up into a big...
Yes.
Pretzels and cheese.
I thought I was the only one. Yes, the pretzel nuggets.
Cheese.
That's right. When I crap out, my biopic is going to be called Pretzels and Cheese.
All right. Maybe you got to get a shirt that say hashtag...
PAC, yeah? Gotta get that PAC, that pack.
We got to get a shirt that says hashtag pretzel nuggets or pretzel bites.
Yeah.
So like a little pretzel nugget with like cheese on it.
It's trending right now. Pretzel nuggets on Twitter.
Nice.
Great.
Should be hashtag heart attack.
Yeah. And don't you hate, Kristian, when you go to some theater? I know you're in LA and we're over here in the East Coast. At least here, you deal with the ones that are trifling. You get the pretzel nuggets. They give you all these pretzels and this tiny bit of cheese. You ask for the extra cheese, they look at you like you're crazy. Do you deal with that issue in LA or?
Well, no, it doesn't. It's not that they look at you crazy. They ask for your bank account and they drain your bank account for the extra cheese.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, it's like my kid can't go to college now because I bought 3 cheeses last week.
I'm told it like $30.
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
What'd you say?
What's your favorite NXT Game Boy favorite snack?
Oh yeah.
My favorite snack at the movie theaters is just regular popcorn with butter. Sometimes if I don't have the money, I will go with pretzels or nachos. But usually I will just have me a nice thing of butter popcorn and a tea and everything, and just enjoy the movie. I just make sure to stay away from chick flicks, stuff that will put me to sleep, because I don't want to eat all that food and then have to fall asleep while during the movie.
Right.
So I try to watch stuff with action and comedy in it, because you don't want to eat that much and then be falling asleep. Especially you got a girl nagging at you on your side, and you got this boring movie putting you to sleep.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah.
And real quick, Kristian, before we get back to movies, we got to ask our correspondent, our great correspondent, Shinblade. If you don't know Kristian, he has a special diet, certain things he can't eat. So what we want to know is, what do you actually eat at the movie theater, Shin?
First of all, you sound like I'm a retarded dude when you say special diet.
You have a special diet, man.
I'm a pescatarian. Okay, let me put that out there. Number one. I don't really have a snack. I usually bring like protein drinks to the theater or something. If I could pick, I would go with either soft pretzels or pizza that they would have. I mean, I know one theater that I went to that had blackened tuna bites, but they were good.
Real quick, shout out to just got a text. Just got a inbox from a fan for the show. Said Caramel Girl 390. Shout out to you. Said she must have hot butter popcorn with Junior Mints when she goes to the theater. So now we getting fans.
But I understand the hot butter popcorn.
Yeah. So now we're having fans texting and tweeting us. Hopefully not. Real quick, Kristian. On the flip side, we talked about great movies in 2014. Let's talk about movies that suck, that are horrible. That, like NSC Game Boy, you throw your beverage at the TV. Let us know some of your all-time, not just 2014, but some of the movies that you just thought was so bad that just made you pissed off and made you upset.
Battlefield Earth.
Yeah. That's why.
Again, Highlander 2, Caddyshack 2, Freddy Got Fingered.
Yes.
That's one of my favorites.
No, is it really?
No, I'm gonna tell you the reason why Freddy Got Fingered is one of my favorites. Kristian, I will say this: Freddy Got Fingered. I do not take that movie seriously. Like, if you want to put it against the heavyweights, don't. It's a stupid movie by Tom Green. If it's something to get your mind off your troubles and make you laugh, and Tom Green does Out of the Ordinary. So it's like, it makes me feel good that there are stupider people out there that do stuff like that. I mean, another movie, Pootie Tang. It's a stupid movie, but it just makes you laugh.
That's Louis C.K.
I thought that was dumb.
Any more movies, Kristian? If we think about
yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of garbage that I actually, because Mark and I are on AMC Movie Talk, and that question actually came up recently, and we had a whole bunch of stinkers out there. Conan the Destroyer is not great.
Yeah,
and then I've seen a whole bunch. The one that I've seen recently, the Devil's Doo. Devil's Doo-Doo. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, there's this movie Priest that came out not too long ago. There's a lot of
that is so bad.
I mean, two movies I just saw recently. The Loft and Mordecai. Holy crap!
I heard that was horrible.
Mordecai, it's so bad. I mean, The Loft is so bad that Wentworth Miller should retire from acting.
Oh God. Oh man.
Oh man. Well, let me ask this on the flip side. What is the greatest movie you ever seen? What is the top, the pinnacle of just awesomeness? Like, what is the greatest
Don't say Citizen Kane, Kristian.
No, I'm gonna say Empire.
Rosebud. No Rosebud.
Empire Strikes Back.
Oh.
I love the Empire Strikes Back. I'm a Star Wars guy. I mean, I have 3 Star Wars shows. I love Star Wars. Good. I mean, I put Braveheart up there. I have this. That's so hard. I could sit there. I'm gonna do a video actually by the end of this year, and it's gonna be the top 100 movies, my favorite movies of all time, and those will definitely be up there for sure. To place them in an order, I don't know yet. Godfather 2.
Godfather 3 never happened.
No, Heat's one of my favorite movies of all time too, with De Niro and Pacino and the Michael Mann movie. So I mean, there's so many that I love that I have to really kind of put together and compile a list.
Well, we'll let you know this, Kristian, that go see our buddy Harloff from Screen Junkies and Honest Trailers. We had him on the show, and Justin Donaldson, and we did let them know. We'll let you know. We do plan on coming to LA later this year. Hopefully, we can do something with you, even with that video of the 100 greatest, so we can definitely talk about that.
Absolutely.
100
can
greatest
we send this
movies.
question over to Tech and MC Game Boy?
What?
Like, what is one of your favorite movies of all time?
One of my favorite movies of all time. Oh, go ahead, Ted.
Yeah, you can go.
Yeah.
You can go. I mean, I'm like Chris. It's too many. I love Heat. I love the original Batman, Michael Keaton. The Beautiful Mind is one of my favorites. It's too many. Braveheart, Gladiator. I like different genres of movies. So yeah, it's for me. It's too many. Dodgeball, false comedy, Harlem Nights, Coming to America. It's just like you say, it's too many movies for me just to decide just one, because I go to different genres.
Okay.
Well, me, I'm pretty much the same thing. I like Half Baked, the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
Really?
Yeah, I love Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, I loved it as a kid.
No, Half Baked.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Yeah.
I love New Jack City, which is one of my personal favorites.
Yeah.
And I also have to give to the movie Crash. That was probably one of. I seen Crash. Crash is the first movie I saw when I came home from prison, and it really was. It touched me so much. I seen it on cable. I went out and bought the DVD like immediately after I saw the movie. It's definitely like.
Yeah, great movie.
It was one of those movies. I really kind of resonated very well with it. So I mean, I have many top ones, but that's just a few to name off the top of the head.
Well, since Kristian, you're the professional, do you agree with our list of some of the greatest movies of all time?
Oh, I mean, you know what? That's a perfect question for kind of explaining more about my show. There is no agree or disagree. Those are your guys' favorite movies. Those are your guys' favorite movies. I got no right to say whether it is or isn't. Like, that's the beauty about movie opinions, is that it's subjective. Like, you guys. And I'm sorry, I don't know who was telling the story about when you got home and you saw Crash. Like, I didn't go through that experience. You know what I mean? You saw it, that resonated to you, and you saw a movie and you had that moment. You had your emotions. You went through different emotions that I didn't go through watching a movie. That's why you can never really judge somebody off of what they see. Same for me. I remember seeing movies when I was a little kid that you may or may not have seen or watched it the same way. So I'll never agree or disagree with somebody for saying that what their favorite movies are, you know?
So
because honestly...
Go ahead, Sean.
Because honestly, one of the greatest movies of all time for me, and it still makes me cry at the end, is Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Oh,
I will say that. Because he did all this stuff in his life. He was a war hero. He was a scholarship football player, and he was like this kind of a slow genius. He had everything in the world, but he didn't have that one thing. And when he finally got her, she died in like no time.
Right.
So it was very, very sad. And you know, just like what NXT Game Boy said about Crash, I didn't watch that movie until it came on DVD at the time. And I liked the movie so good that I sold the DVD and then I bought the director's cut, you know, because at the time I was going through spiritually I was going through some rough times, and people would look at me a certain way. They wouldn't associate me because, you know, I was this type of person of a different faith and everything like that. So that's how it was.
So Kristian, you said there's no right or wrong answers, right?
I mean, it's not a matter. I mean, look, we might not agree. There might be a couple movies in my list, your list, that you didn't like that I liked, and vice versa. But neither one of us is wrong for liking those, because, like I said, I'm not watching the movie through your eyes, and you're not watching them through mine, so we don't know why we like certain movies, you know. But we certainly could have a debate about it. Like the one thing with Freddy Got Fingered for me that I think we both can agree on is that he can have some sausage. Best line in the movie.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So honestly, can you tell the females that, because they always want to drag us to rom-coms and everything, starring Matthew McConaughey, directed by Tyler Perry. And real quick, I'm gonna do this for you, because this is my thing about Matthew McConaughey. he's doing great acting now. I watch his recent movies, but when he did rom-com movies, it was all about, hey, it's me, Matthew McConaughey. I love to do movies where I look good and take my shirt off and women just fall in love with me, man, pay me a lot of money. And I hated all those movies they did. He did like that for 10 years straight, after Time to Kill, Can you tell the ladies that?
All right.
Really? They confused?
He did for a while, but he got himself out of it. But look, I've been doing this now since 2008, and I had to go see all those things. I saw Ghosts of Girlfriend's Past.
That was the best movie he did out of all those shitty movies. That was the best one that he ever did.
Right, there's a lot of those movies. Yeah, Michael Douglas was the best part of it. But they do these movies and it's a matter of being able to get yourself out, because what do we like better than anything else is a comeback. And when he came back with Dallas Fighter Clubs and True Detective and Interstellar, you're like, all right, he's back, and we forgot about all those bombs. But it's the same thing. Back to we're going to get dragged to these movies, but it really goes back to my point before, that there's a reason why women like certain movies that we don't like, and it's like doesn't mean we have to sit there and love them. We can complain about them, but
I have a question, fellas, real quick. I have a question while I got you. Since you are a movie critic and you've been doing this for so long, and there has been this thing at the Oscars where they've been snubbing Leonardo DiCaprio, which I feel is such a tragedy, because he's such a great actor. Yeah. He's actually one of my all-time favorite actors. He's like one of the top three, actually. Out of his movies that's been, let's say, quote-unquote, Oscar worthy, which movie do you think that the Oscars dropped the ball on and should have awarded him an Oscar for Best Lead out of his movies?
That's such a tough question, because I've talked about this so many times, because the thing is, if you look, and John Campea, who's on AMC Movie Talk, who runs AMC Movie Talk, he made this point, and I agree with him, is that if you look at the competition that DiCaprio was up against those years, it's tough to say who he should have beaten, because I love The Wolf of Wall Street. It is definitely going to be.
I have to watch that.
But if it's not in my top 20,
fucking the same movie.
Like, get the loot. It's one of the funniest movies. It's such a great movie, and he not only does he do a great dramatic role, he does physical comedy. He does everything. It's his best performance, hands down. I forget. He was up against. I remember he was up against McConaughey and Dallas Buyers Club. He was up against a lot of people that were just really tough to beat that year. And then, Gilbert Grape was one that he probably should have won for. I thought he was great in The Departed. He's absolutely one of my favorite actors for sure. And Inception's another one that will be up there in my favorites as well. But it's a tough question, man. I think that he will eventually win, but it's really hard to say who he should have beaten, because he's been up against some really tough dudes.
Yeah.
Real
quick, too, while we got you, before we let you go, Kristian, I want to applaud you and Mark Ellis. Let's switch it over to TV series real quick. Is speaking of Matthew McConaughey, like Schmoes mentioned, I watched Matthew McConaughey in some movies, and it was just a good-looking guy with the shirt off. But once I started watching True Detective, which I'm not finished watching yet, but when I watched True Detective, I actually saw how great of an actor Matthew McConaughey is, and big ups to Woody Harrelson for being a character actor of the great work that he did with his face and just his character. And that's when I realized, wait, Matthew McConaughey can do more than just the good looks and or what have you. But because of you and me, NFC Game Boy, and Schmoes, we're doing this TV series swap where I finished a TV series, and then NFC Game Boys finished one, and then he just finished watching The Wire. I just finished watching Breaking Bad. Now, NFC Game Boys is going to watch Breaking Bad. And I want to say it's because of you guys, as Schmoes knows, I started watching Breaking Bad and actually love the series. I think it's one of the best TV series that's been done in a long time. So I want to say, in your case, what are your thoughts on the best TV series that's out now or that's been out in the past 5 years? Would you say it's Breaking Bad? Would you say it's Walking Dead? Would you say it's Sons of Anarchy?
My favorite, I'll probably go a little bit past 5 years, but I'll say that my favorite show of all time is Breaking Bad for sure, with series-wise, and then number 2 is The Wire. Those are my 2 favorite series of all time because
Baltimore.
Well, because it's just they were most consistent shows on television. Like I blew through The Wire in 2 weeks, and it was just both those shows. Just there was hardly a bad egg in the batch. There really wasn't. And then I would go. True Detective's too young right now, but I really loved the first season. I think it's got potential. We'll see. Sopranos for me was a show that I really enjoyed. If we're going to go comedy, Cheers was one. But those are, as far as the top 2 shows for me of all time are. And Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones for me is my third as well.
I'm gonna tell you something about The Wire that you don't know. I'll be 34 years old this year. I've been living in Baltimore. I've been in the streets and everything. The Wire is actually toned down.
Damn.
I actually watched the whole. I watched it in a 2-week span too, because I heard about it before I went to prison, and then when I came out of prison, it was like I think on the 4th season. So I'm one of those people. I have to start from the beginning. And 2 weeks ago, I finally sat down. The Wire is actually toned down. That's the only thing I can say about The Wire that I was a little kind of disappointed in. I mean, it's a great show. It's definitely one of my top 3 all-time favorite crime TV dramas or whatever. But it's actually toned down though. Baltimore is actually worse than what it portrayed on The Wire. And some of the stories I actually knew about because I know the actual characters they were portraying. They switched around the names and stuff. Some of the stories I actually know, thanks to my cousin. Shout out to him for letting me know. Like, don't you know about what? I'm like, oh yeah, I remember about. Like, oh okay. It's a little toned down though. Yeah, my cousin.
We don't want to scare you, Kristian. We do one day want you to come here to the East Coast to hang out with us in Baltimore. So you'll be safe for us.
It's not that bad, but I mean, The Wire is toned down though. It's the Baltimore is a little worse than Wire.
I will say this. Though
what were you saying, Kristian?
Oh, okay.
I said I'll send Mark Ellis.
I will say this.
I'm sorry. Real quick.
I will say this though that NSC and Tech are from Baltimore. I moved from Baltimore to Baltimore a couple years ago, and everybody was telling me like, if you don't watch The Wire, you don't know Baltimore. And I just started watching it like around about the same time NSC Game Boy was on like season 4. So it's a very, very good series. I'm gonna start Sons of Anarchy afterwards, and then after that.
I'm currently into
Breaking
that
Bad. Breaking Bad. You and Playing C. John spoiled it for me too.
Yeah, well, he ain't spoiled it anyway. Well, Kristian, one day if you do come here, we'll make sure we, give you good old Baltimore food, a good old chicken box, and let's give you some of that seafood and crabs and half. So
love it.
We'll get you a hack too. So you
get you a hack. You know what a hack is, Kristian? Kristian, you know what a hack is?
No, what's that?
Okay,
a hack is
hacking is a Baltimore term. It's when you go outside to a street corner and you take you extend your arm, your hand, and you take your index finger and you kind of wave it up and down. And what it does is it flags an unlicensed taxi. So they call it hacking.
A hack.
So you go outside and you get a hack. If you don't want to pay for a cab, somebody might come and pick you up and they'll take you to your destination. You pay them instead of paying a taxi cab. It's called hacking.
Right.
It's a Baltimore
It's called a hack.
All right. They do it in parking lots and stuff.
So now you just learned something. I got you.
Baltimore Baltimore education. #hacks. We do that.
Hacks.
I'm going to hashtag that right now. I'm going to hashtag Hacky/nacho cheese /pretzel stick.
Yeah, real quick, we got a minute.
Okay.
Real quick.
Okay, actually, Kristian, please follow us. Follow us back on Twitter because we're going to show you some Baltimore pictures to let you know about more Baltimore education.
Let's do it.
Real quick, Kristian is not Baltimore here, and like you said, Shin's from from another state. So people from outside say Baltimore. People say here say Baltimore. So
yeah, we
that's
say
the
Baltimore.
accent.
We don't say
Baltimore. We don't say
we don't use
Baltimore.
that
Some
T.
people.
Baltimore.
Right.
No,
You
we
just
say Baltimore.
it's a D instead of a D. It's Baltimore. Baltimore, Maryland.
I'm from Queens. I'd probably say Baltimore also.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, cool. There you go. Real quick, Kristian,
Plug
thank
party.
you much for plug party.
Oh,
thank you much
God.
for being on the show. Gonna give you about 30 seconds or so. Plug whatever it is you need to do, and what you got coming up.
Yeah, it's pretty easy, guys. If you go to youtube.com/Schmoes, you can find a lot of my stuff. Same thing. The podcast is on every Thursday night, 6 to 8 p.m. PST. YouTube.com/Schmoes podcast. You can always check out AMC Movie Talk, and follow me at Kristian Harloff or at Schmoes.
All right. Thanks much. Tell Mark Ellis we said hello. Hopefully he tell him he's next. Get him up on the show so we can talk about more movies and other TV series.
Will do. Thank you, guys.
All right.
All right, man. We appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, later on.
Take care, man.
Yeah, later.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Hey. Everybody, that was Kristian Harloff, which I do apologize for some reason. It came up as Kristian Harloff on the description. Thanks, Shin, for pointing out that botch.
Because I was thinking that you were thinking about How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Boris Karloff.
Right, exactly. So thanks, Kristian. Thanks, Kristian Harloff, for that, for coming on. Thank you, Schmoes Knows. Also, big ups to DJ, DeJoseph, and Lucha Underground for coming on. And, of course, I have a big announcement to make about Under the Mat Radio. Not only do we have own official network, thank you very much, and also NFC Game Boy might have missed that. By next week, we had technical difficulties with our music for the intro for the show, so by next week it will be back up and running. But real quick, huge news before we send out our quick thank yous and mentions of that. Coming up very soon, not this month, February, but in March, just got confirmation that Under the Mat Radio will have the owner of Global Force Wrestling, former owner of TNA, former WWE superstar, former WCW superstar, Jeff Jarrett, will be joining Under the Mat Radio in the month of March.
Nice.
More details will be coming soon, so I just wanted to make that big announcement to let everybody
Slap
know.
nuts.
Yes, hashtag Slap Nuts.
JEWF, JERE.
I actually have lesser big news that I just found out from two of our friends from Under the Mat Radio. Two wrestlers and WWE's interested in was big things as far as them getting paid and getting exposure. But the WWE has expressed interest in both Mandy Leon and Moose of Ring of Honor.
Okay.
Yes, big ups. Big ups to good old buddy Moose. And Mandy Leon. And also, Tech, it's very, very important to ourselves, but we got to put our own plug party so people will know where to catch Under the Mat, too. All right, real quick, do the plug party. We got 30 seconds go, Shin.
All right, like our page on Facebook.com/Under the Mat Radio, spell it correctly. And also on YouTube, we have Under the Mat Radio. And if you can't listen live, I will upload the episodes by 12 o'clock the next day in order for you to get your UTMR on. And that's it.
Yes.
All right, get that fixed.
Yes.
Get them thumbs up.
Yes, 90 seconds real quick. Want to thank everybody for calling in. Thank you, Lucha Underground and Chris DeJoseph, DJ, for coming on to the show. Thank you very much for him being very happy on the Lucha road and not so happy on the WWE road. But thank you much for the breaking news and more updates for Lucha Underground coming very soon. Thank you much to the Kristian Harloff for coming on in the Schmoes Knows, for sharing a very good time with us. Hashtag Pretzel Bites with extra cheese. Hashtags Baltimore Hacks. Hashtag Baltimore Education. Thanks much. And it's the Game Boys. Want to thank real quick Stevie Ray Styles and 1CW for providing a great show over this weekend. Thank you, Val Venus, for your time that you spent with us during the interview. Hashtag Captain Cannabis Show. Please check that out on YouTube. Hit us up on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter so we can give you the more details about our guests next week. Same time, same place. Blog Talk Radio / Under the Mat Radio. Facebook Under the Mat Radio. And it's the Game Boy. Go and
everything is Under the Mat Radio. Check us out.
And everything is awesome.
Yeah, everything's awesome.
That's it.
Really do.
Cool when you do it with the team. Yes. All right, we're done.
Do it.
Yes, we
do
are.
it for the Under the Mat
Love
Radio.
y'all. Yeah, do it for fine. Love y'all.
And the crowd says,
I ain't gonna do it.
Amen.
Shalom.